Hi friends, thank you for tuning into my channel. I've been getting a lot of questions about Irish lace crocheting because I have been uploading quite a few videos on Irish motifs, lace projects and things like that. And there seems to be quite a particular interest around padding of lace motifs. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the classic ways in which we can use padding. I'm using this bright orange yarn just to demonstrate. We're going to use this green yarn to crochet over the padding with. So I use thread to crochet because yarn is far too expensive. Just give you a little bit of a close-up here. I've got about 6 machine yarn threads here, and this is my yarn that I crochet with. It is much cheaper and it produces the exact same results. So with padding and padding aka cord, you tend to use 4 strands of yarn. So it's usually 4 strands of yarn that we use nowadays. Back in the day, what would be used would be heavy cotton that was used. Nowadays, we tend to use the same color yarn that we are crocheting with. But again, just for this tutorial, I'm going to use the complete opposite color just so you can see what I'm doing. So with padding, more often than not, you've got 4 strands of yarn just like I have here. So I've doubled this machine thread 4 times, and I'm going to use this for the purpose of padding this yarn. Now I'm going to talk you through 2 different ways to start your projects. The first way is the most classic way, which is you're always going to start with a loop. So grab whatever yarn you have. If you've got standard yarn, you may want to double it by 2. 4 may, if you double it by 4, that may be far too thick. So I've doubled this by 4 because I have to, because again, the yarn that I use is quite thin. So you're always going to have this open loop at the top there. You must take your cover yarn and almost just put it over like this. Now, you're simply just going to loop through like that. Go ahead and do a chain like that. This can be kind of fidgety to get a hold of to start with, but if you're an avid crocheter, you may get the hang of this sooner. What we're going to do now is we're simply going to start to place single crochets over this padding. So I will show you where my hands are, the placement of my hands. I'm keeping this the right side to control my work. The left side of I've got my left finger controlling my cover yarn, and the padding cord, I'm controlling it with my finger here and my thumb here. So I'm just going to go around the padding like that, and I'm going to place a single crochet like that, and I'm going to pull that a little bit tight there like that, and I'm going to repeat that until I'm happy with the circle or the magic ring, if it, as we call it these days. I'm going to carry on until we have that, and again I'm pulling that. Just want to show you the back of that. Can you see how you can see no orange through it? Just like that, and I'm just really pulling it quite tight. I have mentioned a little bit about the history of Irish crocheting and padding. So Irish crochet has been around since 1845. Developed in Ireland by women, and it simply is just an art. I'm obsessed with it. So I've got quite a long chain here that I've covered my padding cord with. I'm now going to close this. How we're going to close it is, let's now look at closing this center. How we're going to close it is we're going to do a simple slip stitch in the first chain. Ignore the padding cord for now, like that. We've now got a really nice center that we can make anything around. Padding cord is right there at the back. And we can do whatever we want on top of this. We are going to carry on crocheting on top of this. Let's make quite a simple flower. So I'm going to carry on doing single crochets. Let's do 3 single crochets. Let's do 3 half double crochets. Again, I'm still holding the padding cord quite tight with this hand. There we go. And now let's do 3 double crochets. So now this is getting a little bit out of hand, so I'm just going to move my hands up to the top here so I can control what I'm doing here. 1 double crochet, 2 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. I'm making a flower petal here. I should have mentioned that earlier on, but I didn't. So I'm going to do 3 half double crochets to bring myself back down. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now let's slip stitch into the center circle here. So again, I'm going to ignore the padding cord at the back. And I'm just going to slip stitch like that. So you see this petal here? This is very, very structured. Of course, because it's padded, it would be, right? Let's carry on repeating this pattern. The same petal over this padding cord. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, 3 half double crochet. 1, 2, 3. Let's do 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and let's do 3 half double crochet again. Let's do 3 single crochet to finish off the petal. 1, 2, 3, and now come back down to the circle and slip stitch. I always crochet my hair into all of my work. I've got really long red hair, as you can see here. I wear my hair. There we go, there. So if I just zoom out there, usually you kind of get the point of where I'm going with this, right? And if I turn it around, you can see a little bit of my padding cord there. If I had pulled that tighter, I would have been able to maybe cover it. But I've intentionally used like a really, really bright colour so you can see what I'm doing. So obviously I'd finished in exactly the same way. I'm going to show you another way to make a centre like this, should you be working this pattern. If you're working a pattern where you're going in a straight line, I don't know, making a leaf, you would use exactly this way of starting that I have shown here if you're using padding cord, okay? So I'm just going to take this all apart now, just so that I can show you the other way of doing things. So if you don't want to loop into the top here, what you simply can do is just make a circle like this. I'm holding the circle closed with my left hand, and I'm going to just chuck the padding cord behind there like that. I'm going to go back and grab my green. Gosh, I can't find the start. There it is. I'm going to start the green. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just hold that closed with my right hand. I'm going to take my yarn and single crochet on top of it. Single crochet, and I'm going to keep single crocheting over this like that. This is almost like a magic circle. And that padding cord, I'm just going to casually hide it. So I'm just speeding up a little bit. There, now I'm close to the end. So what I would do here is just carry on filling that space, and I would simply go ahead and slip stitch into that first chain there to close it. And I've got the padding cord there at the back to continue my pattern on with. I shall stop there. I will be uploading many motifs with padding cord. It seems like that's quite a hit, and I never realised that that art was still around and alive. So I have put out quite a few videos on motifs. In particular, I've been using this Japanese Irish crochet book, and I've been sharing with you the patterns from this book. Looking from motif 1 to 100. I'm only on motif 13 at the moment. I am going to start to put out videos that include motifs that have the padding in the centre, so please subscribe and keep an eye out for those. I did have a question a few days ago about how to hide the packing cord. Just want to show you the traditional way of doing it. So can you see here how the cord has been cut, and there's a darning needle and it's literally just been sewn in? That's one way of doing it. The cheeky way of doing it is, I wouldn't recommend this, I do this though. When I finish my piece, I would grab a pair of scissors and I'd cut really, really close there and just get rid of the packing cord. I keep calling it a packing cord now, a padding cord. I would recommend this way of doing it just for a neater finish as well, but that is the way to do it. Also, I do want to mention, if you run out of padding cord halfway through your project, because you've looped at least twice or 4 times, and what I mean by that is you've got 4 strands of yarn or you've got 2 strands of yarn, right at the end of your padding cord you are going to have a loop there already, right? Because you're going to have a loop there. Should you ever run out, you will grab your yarn, which is also going to have a loop, and you're going to loop that through that loop already, and you will carry on crocheting over it. And that's the way to continue on should you run out of padding cord. Thank you so much for watching. I shall be uploading more tutorials soon, so please subscribe, please like, please comment. It doesn't cost you anything, but it means the absolute world to me. Thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day. Bye.